Honorable members, in the Basant season of renewal and resurgence, I welcome you all to this joint session of both houses of Parliament. This is a historic session heralding the advancement of the budget cycle and merger of the railway budget with the general budget for the first time in independent India. We gather once again to celebrate democracy, cherished value and culture that has prospered throughout the long history of our nation. Indeed, a culture that guides my government towards Sabko Saath, Sabko Vikas. Honorable members, the idea of Sahana Bhavantu, Sahana Bhunaktu, may we be protected together and blessed together with bliss, has inspired our civilization from time immemorial. This year marks the 350th birth anniversary of the great Sikh Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji. We are also observing the 1000th birth anniversary of the great saint philosopher Ramanujarya. The luminous path of social transformation and reform shown by them serves as a beacon to us all and is an inspiration of my government. This year marks the centenary year of Champaran Satyagraha, which gave a new direction to our freedom struggle and channelized Jana Shakti in the fight against colonial powers. Mahatma Gandhi's ideas to Satyagraha instilled in every Indian an indomitable self-belief and spirit of sacrifices for the larger goods. The Jan Shakti is today our greatest strength. Honorable members, the resilience and forbearance demonstrated by our countrymen, particularly the poor, recently in the fight against black money and corruption is remarkable. The same spirit has driven the LPG Give It Up campaign. Over 1.2 crore consumers have voluntarily given up their LPG subsidy, which has helped the underprivileged in accessing LPG connections. This Jan Shakti has transformed Swachh Bharat mission into a Jana Andolan. 1.4 lakh villages, over 450 cities, 77 districts and 3 states have declared themselves open defecation free. My government salutes the strength of Jan Shakti and pledges to constructively utilize it in Rashtra Nirman. At the core of all my government's policies is the welfare of the Garib, Dalit, Pirit, Shoshit, Vanchit, Kishan, Shramik and Yuva. My government is guided by the Antodaya philosophy of Pandit Dindayal Upadhyay. His centenary year is being observed as Garib Kalyan Bars. Financial inclusion is key to poverty alleviation. An unprecedented 26 crore plus Jan Dhan accounts have been opened for the unbanked. Over 20 crore RuPay debit cards have been issued to enable cashless payments. Moving swiftly to Jan Dhan, to Jan Suraksha, close to 13 crore poor have been covered under various social security schemes. Honorable members, to take banking system to the doorstep of the poor and the unbanked, the Indian Postal Payment Bank has been started. The postal network with wider reach and deep penetration over 1.5 lakh crore offices will also function as postal banks. Besides, over 1 lakh bank mitras appointed by the banks, over 2.5 lakh Gram Dak Sevaks will also function as banking correspondents. Over rupees 2 lakh crores has been provided through 5.6 crore loans sanctioned under Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana to ensure collateral bank financing for the unfunded and to promote small business. 70% of these has been availed of by women entrepreneurs. Under the Dindayal Upadhyay Antodaya Yojana, which aims to empower women, particularly from the deprived sections, over rupees 16,000 crores have been made available to self-help groups in the current financial year. This scheme aims to reach out to nearly 5 crore women soon. My government has taken many initiatives to improve the quality of life of the poor through assured housing, affordable health care, safe drinking water and sanitation, and access to clean energy. Honorable members, my government is committed to provide shelter to every houseless, poor household through the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana with appropriate interest subvention on housing credit. Poor sanitation further weakens the economic wherewithal of poor household. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan aims to ensure health and sanitation, particularly for the poor. Under this mission, more than 3 crore toilets have been constructed. The Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana will make clean energy accessible to the poor. This scheme aims to safeguard the health of women and children by providing them with a clean cooking fuel LPG, liberating them from the ill effects of smoky kitchens and long hours of collecting firewoods. Free gas connections are being provided to 5 crore households. Already 1.5 crore connections have been provided in the current financial year. It is noteworthy that 37% of Ujjala beneficiaries belong to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Honorable members, under Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana, out of over 18,000 villages which have been in darkness since independence, over 11,000 have been electrified in a record time. Under Ujjala programs, over 20 crore LED bulbs have been distributed, resulting in savings more than rupees 10,000 crore in the electricity bills of consumers, majority of whom are poor. Several steps have been taken to make health care affordable and accessible to every citizen of our country, particularly the poor. Mission Indradhanush commits to vaccinate every child everywhere against the preventable disease. It has so far benefited 55 lakh children. Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana has been launched to ensure that the poor have access to quality medicines at affordable prices. Special facilities created to control the endemic Japanese encephalitis have yielded encouraging results in significantly reducing mortality due to this disease. Honorable members, in Kishan's welfare lies the nation's prosperity. A favorable monsoon, after consecutive years of drought, supplemented by farmer-oriented schemes, has increased the acreage and yield of most kharif crops. The sown area in the current Rabi season has shown 6% increase in comparison to last year. My government has taken various steps to transform the lives of our farmers. Focus has been on holistic development of agriculture sector, making available affordable credit, ensuring assured supply of seeds and fertilizers, improving irrigation facilities, comprehensive risk coverage, improving productivity through soil health cards, assured market and remunerative prices for the products through e-NAM. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana expanded the ambit of risk coverage, doubled the sum insured and facilitated the lowest ever premium for the farmers. During the Kharif 2016, around 3.66 crore farmers were insured for a sum of rupees 1.4 lakh crores. Honorable members, with the objective of digitization of all the live Kishan credit cards, another 3 crore cards will be converted into RuPay debt cards shown. The corpus of NABARD fund has been doubled to rupees 41,000 crore to ensure easy credit access to insurers and to farmers. With focus on part drop, more crop and Har Khet Ko Pani coverage under Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana has been expanded. More than 12.7 lakh hectares have been brought under micro-irrigation in the last 2 years. Honorable members may recall that soaring prices of pulses was a matter of grave concern around this time last year. My government has taken proactive steps and prices of pulses are now under control. To ensure fair price for farmers and to protect consumers, a buffer stock of 20 lakh tons of pulses has been envisaged, against which 8 lakh tons of pulses have already been procured. Honorable members, my government is making Nari Shakti an integral part of our development journey. Our women deserve equal opportunity. The Rio Olympics, where we took great pride in the performance of P.V. Sindhu, Sakshi Malik, Deepa Karmakar, and others, illustrates the strength of our women. Women are being inducted in combat streams of our armed forces. The nation is proud of its first 3 women fighter pilots. This reminds us of what we can achieve as a nation if women are fully empowered and if their skills and talent are optimally utilized. The Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme that addresses the issue of declining child sex ratio is yielding encouraging results. Under the Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, launched with an objective of ensuring to secure future to all our girl child, over 1 crore accounts have been opened and an amount of over rupees 11,000 crores has been deposited. The Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan will provide comprehensive antenatal care by a qualified medical practitioner to all pregnant women. The revision of Maternity Benefit Act and enhancement of maternity leave from 12 weeks to 26 weeks will support pregnant women at their workplace. Honorable members, 65% of our population today is below the age of 35. Our youth is our greatest strength, and Yuva Urja needs to be channelized effectively with the motto of Har Haat Ko Hunar. My government has taken several steps for skilling the youth and improving their employability. The work of skill development that was earlier spread across 21 ministries and 50 departments has been brought under one umbrella ministry. The Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana has been launched with a budget outlay of rupees 12,000 crore to train 1 crore youth over the next 4 years. Over 20 lakh youth have already benefited. National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme has been launched with a budget outlay of rupees 10,000 crores. 978 employment exchange spread across the country have been integrated as part of the National Career Service portals. Honorable members, my government has opened new avenues and made higher technical education more accessible to students from economically weaker sections. For the first time, IIT trainees have been provided with academic equivalence at matriculation and higher secondary level through bridge course to enable them to pursue higher education. With the objective of providing training of international standards to youth, a nationwide network of 50 India International Skill Centers is being established. The Pradhan Mantri Yuv Yojana has been launched for promoting entrepreneurship, education and training amongst 7 lakh students. My government has announced a package of rupees 6,000 crores to boost employment generation and exports in the apparel and made-up sectors. The package is expected to generate over 1.1 crore jobs, mostly for women. Honorable members, Shram Eva Jayate, as part of the foremost guiding principles of my government, and several measures have been taken to the welfare of the Shramiks. For the first time ever, minimum wages have been increased by 42% in both agricultural and non-agricultural sector. Bonus coverage, the calculation ceiling limit has been doubled to rupees 7,000 and the eligibility limit increased from rupees 10,000 to rupees 21,000. This will directly benefit an additional 55 lakh workers. The universal account number has ensured portability of employees' provident fund accounts and has safeguarded the interest of crores of workers. Workers employed in the informal sector will benefit the most from my government's decision to enable employers to pay wages to their employees through banks. This will increase compliance of payment of minimum wages. It will ensure that workers in the unorganized sector also enjoy health benefits under employees' state insurance corporation and social security through Provident Fund. Implementation of the 7th Pay Commission has benefited 50 lakh employees and 35 lakh pensioners. To protect senior citizens from the impact of interest rate fluctuations, interest rate for senior citizens has been fixed at 8% payable monthly for a period of 10 years. Honorable members, social and economic equality for the deprived and disempowered sections is the first promise of our Constitution. My government is committed to fulfill this promise. Through the Stand Up India initiative, my government plans to empower over 2.5 lakh scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and women entrepreneurs. For promoting entrepreneurship, the National Scheduled Caste Scheduled Tribes Hub has been launched with an initial allocation of rupees 490 crores. Under the Forest Rights Act, about 16.5 lakh individual forest rights titles have been granted over an area of 55.4 lakh acres of total land. Further, community forest titles have been distributed over an area of about 47 lakh acres of forest lands. The location of our mineral wealth largely coincides with the tribal habitations in our country. The Pradhan Mantri Khanij Kshetra Kalyan Yojana will serve the dual purpose of ensuring sustainable mining activity as well as local area development for the betterment of the tribals and the poor inhabitants in the mining area. District Mineral Foundation is a novel initiative in this regard. Honorable members, my government has increased the allocation under the tribal subplan. 14 different sectors have been identified under the Banbandhu Kalyan Yojana for the employment of tribals. 100 out of 300 districts envisaged under the Shama Prasad Mukherjee Urban Mission will be developed in tribal areas. The success of Indian cricket team at the World Cup for the Blind 2014 and the Indian Paralympics contingent at Rio 2016 demonstrate that the Divyangjan can scale great heights if afforded an opportunity. My government is committed providing the Divyangjan equal opportunities for development. Besides increasing the percentage of reservations for Divyangjan from 3 to 4% in the government jobs, my government has accelerated filling up of backlog vacancies. Over 6 lakhs Divyangjan have so far benefited from 47,000 special assistance camps organized across the country since May 2014. Honorable members, the Sugamya Bharat Abhiyan is improving accessibility of the Divyangjan at public places. For the first time, speech and language disability and specific learning disability have been included in the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. A common sign language is being developed for the entire country. The Nirama Swasth Bima Yojana provided Divyangjan effectively affected by autism, cerebral palsy, mental retardation, and those with multiple disabilities a health insurance cover of up to 1 lakh rupees. Like the strings of sitar, which produces different notes, but come together to create a beautiful melody. People professing of different faiths and religion constitute the spirit of India and contribute to the strength of the nation. The courage and sacrifice of Baba Bande Singh Bahadur, whose 300th martyrdom anniversary we observe this year, and the spirit of selfless service of Mother Teresa, who was canonized recently, inspire us in equal measures. My government has taken several measures to ensure that the aspirations of the people from all communities are fulfilled, and a more focused approach has been taken towards inclusive development of the notified minority community, namely Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Sikhs, Parsis and Jains. While scholarship and fellowship schemes have encouraged their educational employment, skill development schemes like Shekho or Kamau, Ustad and Naimanjil have enabled their economic empowerment. Honorable members, just as all the drops of rainwater and streams converging in one ocean, all the policies of my government converge for the welfare of the poor, deprived and the underprivileged. From giving house to the shelterless, to electrifying unelectrified village, from giving free LPG connection to supplying LED bulbs to the poor, from Jan Dhan to Jan Suraksha, from making available, affordable health care to providing quality education to the poor, central to all the policies of my government is the welfare of the poor. Balanced and equitable developments of all regions, vital to India's progress. Under its proactive, activist policy, my government is focusing on reducing the isolation of the eastern region and northeast by improving connectivity through road, rail, telecom, power and waterways. Honorable members, my government has started Pradhan Mantri Urja Ganga with the execution of 2,500 kilometers long Jagdishpur, Haldia, Bokaro, Dhamra National Gas Pipeline Project, with an investment of around rupees 12,000 crore, 12,500 crores. This project will cater to energy requirements of 5 states covering 40 districts, 2,600 villages. The project will also lead to the revival of 3 large fertilizer plants, industrialization of more than 20 cities, and the city gas network development in 7 cities. My government sees the northeastern states as the Ashtalakshmi, that they can take India to new heights. The northeast is the gateway to Southeast Asia. We are opening up road and rail route to our neighboring countries to boost the economic development of the region. To ensure unhindered support and development of northeastern states, my government is continuing with the special dispensation that the assistance pattern of the northeastern states and is providing assistance in the ratio of 90-10 for core central schemes and 80-20 to non-core central schemes of these states. Honorable members, by the end of the year, all meter gauge tracks in the northeastern states will be converted into broad gauge. The railways have undertaken a major expansion in the region at a cost of around rupees 10,000 crores. Arunachal Pradesh and Meghalaya have been put on the rail map. Agartala in Tripura has been connected with broad gauge line. The Brahmaputra Kakar and Polymart Limited at Numaligarh, Refinery Limited, Works Unit are big projects that will create huge employment opportunities in the Northeast region. The government has approved the Northeast BPO promotion schemes in the Digital India program for creation of employment opportunities. The beauty and diversity of the Northeast states is a natural hub for tourism. The Ministry of Tourism has identified the thematic circuit for the Northeast region. My government has provided special financial assistance to mitigate the damages caused by the unprecedented floods in the hilly and other areas of the country. Honorable members, from highways to highways, from railways to waterways, from seaports to airports, from water pipelines to gas pipelines, from earth sciences to satellites, from rural infrastructure to smart cities, creation of vital next generation infrastructure has received special attention of my government. For modernization of railways, the highest ever capital outlay of rupees 1.21 lakh crore has been provided. My government aims to connect all rural habitations with all-weather roads. 73,000 kilometers of road has been built so far in the rural areas. More than 5,000 kilometers of roads in 44 left-wing extremist affected districts are being upgraded. The National Civil Aviation Policy will give a major boost to air connectivity in the small towns and cities. Under the BharatNet project, optical fiber cables now cover over 75,000 gram panchayats, up from only 59 in May 2014. India has launched 8 operational missions covering meteorological, navigation, and earth observation and communication satellites. ISRO completed the 7th satellite constellation of India, regional navigational satellite services, NAVI. SRO added another feather to its cap this year by successfully launching 20 satellites in a highest ever single launch. Honorable members, my government is committed to optimally harness our marine wealth and give a new impetus to ocean-led development. Under the Sagarmala programs on port-led development, a total of 199 projects with an outlay of over rupees 3 lakh crores have been identified for implementation in the next 3 years. Of these projects, of more than rupees 1 lakh crore are already under implementation. They seize surrounding the Indian peninsula contain 1,382 of our islands, out of which, to begin with, 26 have been earmarked for integrated development. The blue economy, with focus on sustainable development of fisheries, will continue to receive our special attention. As a reaffirmation of our commitment to clean energy, my government has taken giant strides in increasing our renewable energy capacity to 47 gigawatts so far, against our target of 175 gigawatts. Honorable members, placing fresh impetus on rural infrastructure, untied financial resources of over rupees 2 lakh crores are being transferred to Gram Panchayats during the year 2015-20. The allocation of Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Schemes in 2016-17 has been over rupees 47,000 crores, which is the highest ever since the inception of the program, and the focus is now on creation of durable assets and rural infrastructure. Giving a major boost to creation of urban infrastructures, annual action plan for 500 cities with an outlay of rupees 50,000 crores has been approved. Metro rail projects have been sanctioned for 4 cities, including Ahmedabad, Nagpur and Pune, and an extension of Chennai Metro has also been approved. My government has taken bold decisions in the interest of the poor. Honorable members, to combat the evils of black money, corruption, counterfeit currency, and terror financing, the government took the decision on 8th November 2016 to demonetize all 500 and 1,000 rupee currency notes. My government's very first cabinet decision was to set up an SIT on black money. The passing of black money, undisclosed foreign income and assets, and imposition of Tax Act 2015, Benami Transactions Prohibition Amendment Act 2016, amendments to treaties with Singapore, Cyprus and Mauritius to prevent misuse of provisions in such treaties for tax evasion and movement of black money in India, and the Taxation Amendment Act providing for Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana have together resulted in a comprehensive policy-backed initiative. The 4-decade-old demand of one rank, one pension of our armed forces, veterans, have been fulfilled. The total financial implications would be around rupees 11,000 crores. More than rupees 6,200 crores have been released in 2 tranches, benefiting over 19.6 lakh veterans. Honorable members, my government has taken decisive steps to give a fitting reply to the repeated incursions on our territorial integrity, sovereignty. On 29 September 2011, our defense forces successfully conducted surgical strikes at several launch pads along the line of control to prevent infiltration by terrorists. We are proud of the exemplary courage and valor displayed by our defense personnel and owe a debt of their gratitude to them. Transforming the culture of governance, my government has simplified the procedures, repealed obsolete acts, and eliminated scope for corruption. The direct benefit transfer program of subsidy through the Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile has prevented leakages and helped save rupees 36,000 crores. While the world's largest cash benefit transfer scheme has saved over rupees 21,000 crores in 2 years. DigiDhan Abhiyan and 2 lakh common service centers are providing employment to over 5 lakh youth and spreading digital literacy. Honorable members, the launch of mobile app Bhim, Bharat's interface for money, is a tribute to the vision of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, who sought economic empowerment of the poorest. Within a few days, it has become one of the most popular mobile app-based payment mechanism in the country. The biometric Aadhaar payment systems to be launched soon will usher a technological revolution in India. Coal blocks and spectrum auction illustrate the highest standards of transparency set by the government in allocation of natural resources. To carry this forward, government procurements have been brought under a single platform, Government e-Marketplace. The process of recruitment to government jobs has been made simpler and transparent by dispensing with interviews for recruitment of over 34 lakh non-gazetted posts. The process of appointments to senior positions in government have also been streamlined and is guided solely by objectivity, merit, and integrity. Honorable members, over 1,100 obsolete laws have been repealed. About 400 more are in the process of being repealed. Legislations relating to women, Divyangjan, labor, apprentices, factories, Benami transactions, Aadhaar, and real estate, to mention a few, mirrors my government's guiding philosophy of transparency and social justice. Frequent elections put on hold development programs, disrupt normal public life, and impact essential services and burden human resources with prolonged period of elections duty. My government welcomes a constructive debate on simultaneous conduct of elections to Lok Sabha and the State Legislative Assembly, funding of election to eradicate the misuse of money power also needs to be debated. My government would welcome any decision taken by the Election Commission in this regard after consultations with political parties. Celebrating the cultural diversity along with the richness of language and heritage of every state, my government has started Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat program. The uniqueness of this program is to pair and entwine two different states with diverse cultures for over a year, so that each state can assimilate the cultural spirit of the other. Honorable members, taking forward the concept of cooperative federalism through one nation, one tax, one nation, one market, both houses of parliament passed the Goods and Services Act. 17 states governed by political parties across the political spectrum ratified these in a record 23 days. My government is thankful to the GST Council for working to resolve outstanding issues. India has been widely acclaimed as a bright spot in the global economy at a time when global growth has been slow. The rate of inflation, the balance of payments, current account deficit, and the fiscal deficit have been consistently reduced since 2014. Foreign direct investment and foreign exchange reserves have reached record levels. The country's macroeconomic fundamentals are very strong, creating a platform for sustained high growth. FDI inflows in 2015-16 were 55.6 billion US dollar, the highest ever for any financial year. My government further liberalized FDI policy provisions in various sectors in June 2016. Honorable members, my government is closely working with the state governments to identify constraints in doing business. The rankings of the states, union territories show that the national implementation average of reforms stands at around 49%, much higher than the previous 32%. India is ranked third in the list of top prospective host economies for 2016 to 18 in the World Investment Report 2016 released by UNCTAD. India has been facing the grave challenge of terrorism for the last 4 decades. Terrorism poses a serious danger to the global community. India will actively collaborate with other nations in decisively defeating these forces. My government is committed to combating terrorism and to ensure that the perpetrators of such acts are brought to justice. The state of Jammu and Kashmir has been affected by terrorism sponsored and supported from across the borders. The attempts of infiltration, incidents of terrorist violence, and loss of precious lives of civilians and security persons remain a cause of grave concern. Honorable members, there has been considerable success in containing left-wing extremism over the last 3 years with the surrender of over rupees 2,600 extremists. The security situation in the northeastern states has also shown significant improvement. My government committed to the philosophy of partnerships for peace and progress continues its active diplomacy aimed at facilitating national development, enhancing our security, and ensuring greater Indian influence in global fora. The intensity of international engagements has helped us shape a diverse and purposeful agenda with our global partners. There has been a consolidation of relationships with friendly countries and major powers. The common design of South Asia region for greater prosperity and development led most of its nations to make common causes in the opposition of terrorism. Membership of the Missiles Technology Control Regime and signing of the Memorandum of Obligations of the Shanghai Cooperation Development were further reflections of India's growing and multidimensional role in the global affairs. Honorable members, India hosted the 8th BRICS Summit at Goa with an BIMSTEC outreach and the 6th Head of Asia Conference at Amritsar, making important contributions to our regional and plurilateral outreach. India hosted a 3-day Asian Ministerial Conference on disaster risk reduction in Delhi, in which more than 50 Asian and Pacific countries participated. There are over 30 million overseas Indians settled in almost every corner in the world. They continue to make invaluable contribution to Indian society and economy. My government will maximize the strength of Indian diaspora in nation building and for deepening our global outreach. Realizing in importance of developing tourism, my government has approved a new e-visa policy and expanded the scope of e-tourist visa to include purposes such as short-term medical treatment and business trips. 161 countries are now covered under e-visa, with over 88 lakh foreign tourists arrivals in 2016. Tourism sector has shown a growth rate of over 10%. Honorable members, India ratified the Paris Agreement on 2nd October 2016, thereby sending a strong message of our commitment to combating climate changes with focus on climate justice and sustainable lifestyle. The United Nations Environment Programme has recognized India as one of the countries on track in achieving its voluntary goals. 25 nations have signed the Framework Agreement of International Solar Alliance, the first treaty-based organizations initiated by India. Honorable members, India today have a deep sense of pride in the awakening of India caused by the momentous steps my government has undertaken. Our fellow citizens have exhibited great solidarity with our endeavors in transforming India. My government reiterates its commitment to fulfill the aspirations of our citizens. The vision of Mahatma Gandhi and other founding fathers lays down a great path for a resurgent India. This path is of debate, discussion, accommodation, and understanding. It has the rich tradition of Sambad, Samanvay, and Samvedana that will continue to guide the spirit of our nation building. Honorable members, we gathered here today to redeem the trust of our countrymen, particularly the poor, in the sacred institutions of Parliament. Every action of ours in this temple of democracy must be an offering at the altar of the innumerable sacrifices that have built this nation. Let us work towards a common future seated in the promise of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, that will bring to all the equality and dignity enshrined in our Constitution. Jai Hind!